Hello, everyone. Happy Samhain. Happy Halloween. I hope you are having a wonderful, magical time so far. The astrology definitely supports the weirdness that is going on right now. There are so many septiles today, I noticed in the chart, which means there are gateways open, there are portals open, things are getting through, good, bad, ugly, everything. So it's really important, I think, to keep your energetic boundaries up and strong and purified, because when we have this many openings going on, not just astrologically, it's all one thing together, as above, so below. So when it's in the astrology, it's in the spirit world. When it's in the spirit world, it's in the physical world too. So super interested to see what happens today. It's definitely gonna get weird. So let's go ahead and pull up the chart. There is a lot of stuff going on this week, to be honest, because we have a new moon in Scorpio coming up on the 4th. And we also have Mercury and Venus changing signs on the 5th. Along with some other stuff too. And then we have, in the US at least, on the 7th, daylight savings time is going to end. So just a lot of shifts. I think we've kind of had this like slow going into the new season, but it will definitely intensify. This is one heck of a month, honestly. Let me know if you guys want me to do like a monthly video. I can for sure do that. It's difficult for me to do the whole month. I've tried watching my teacher's video. He always does like a monthly forecast, and I just have a hard time like taking in all that information. Usually his videos are very long. They're like 2+ hours, and I just have a hard time remembering. Like halfway through the video, I'm like, I'm not going to remember like any of this once the day comes. So I personally prefer like the weekly. But yeah, let me know what you think about these videos. Let me share my screen. Where is it? Oh, okay. All right. So we have what's going on right now? Sorry, guys. I think Solar Fire closed on me. It likes to do that sometimes. Okay, so I have this set to Central Time, Chicago time. That's probably the biggest city that I live at closest to. So that is where I am at. Okay. So I'm sorry if my energy is weird. I'm actually really stressed out right now because I have so much going on. I have like 4 jobs. I think this has just been like picking up. There's always like those lulls when there's like nothing going on. And now I feel that in my life and astrologically, like things are just happening, like they're picking up. Okay. So today, this is today's chart on Samhain. It's about 11:30-ish here. So there are a lot of septiles going on, which is amazing. So, and this does involve the moon too. So if you can see this triangle here, again, I don't know. I don't think there's a word for this. I just call it the septile triangle because that's what it is. And it's always important with triangle configurations in astrology to look at where the apex of the triangle is pointing to. And in this case, it's pointing towards Venus and Sagittarius. Super interesting. So we have this septile connecting the moon and Chiron. That is a triseptile. Here's the moon. Oh yeah, which is in Virgo. Yay. That's my moon, you guys. It's interesting. I don't know how you guys feel when the moon is in your like natal moon sign. It's either like the best time ever for me, or I'm like, in the case of Virgo, dying of anxiety. It's definitely the latter today. So the moon is triseptile Chiron, and then we have Venus biseptile the moon. Okay. And then Venus will be biseptile Chiron as well. So this is super important. I always see this as, of course, like a portal, literally a gateway. There's definitely like, I always like picture like a funnel, kind of like there's something coming in. It doesn't necessarily have to be super esoteric and witchy. It really depends on your personal spirituality, because I'm thinking of my best friend who is a Taurus and doesn't believe in any of this stuff at all. And she has one of these septile triangles in her chart. So it can also mean just weird things happening to you, weird things happening around you, around us, unexplainable things, disembodied voices, apparitions, downloads, visions, doing work like in the spirit world, that kind of stuff. Like that is all very, very supportive right now. So if you want to do any of that stuff, for sure do it today, of course. And we also have this septile here connecting to the sun. And then we also have another septile, Venus, connecting to we already talked about that one. Okay, so lots of interesting stuff going on. Venus being involved here too is interesting, because it's almost like those different archetypes, those different beings are like manifesting through our interactions and people that we associate with on a day-to-day basis. So the people who are closest to you, your close one-to-one partnerships, friendships, family, whatever, that's where you're going to see maybe those things starting to channel through. Yeah, so just kind of like be on the lookout for that. That can definitely teach you something, especially if people are acting out of character. You can kind of see what energy they're channeling right now, I think. So what else is going on today? So the moon is in Virgo, which means it's going to oppose Neptune also. So this is a very watery, esoteric, spiritual, awesome day. It's gonna get weird, that's for sure. Okay, so, and then we almost have this, like, this is the last thing I'll talk about here, but we almost have this like septile yod thing going on. So we have these two quincunxes here with Chiron and the North Node. And then we have Chiron connecting to the North Node through a septile. And it's interesting. This isn't like a in the books configuration, but I see this as like when there's an opening at the top, instead of like pointing and channeling and funneling through that one point, it's like opened up. So it almost, to me, like in my head, it takes those 2 points and like opens them up and creates like a larger funnel where more energy can get through, and it's coming out in 2 different ways. And in this case, it's the sun and Mars. So what we're focused on, and being in Scorpio too, this is like the underworld, the other world, whatever you want to call it, like that is open right now. Like it's really open. So again, just be mindful, be wary, especially with the moon in Virgo. I think it's a good idea to like clear your house with some like herbs, some incense, and just, just have your boundaries up, have your spiritual boundaries up. So yeah. If you're feeling a little chaotic, totally normal, because there is a lot coming through right now, and good and bad people, like we're all going to use this to our advantage right now. So there's just a lot like going on, a lot of energy coming around, swirling around. Okay, so let's go through the week. On Monday, we have Mercury is going to trine Jupiter. So here is Mercury. This is a little bit after the fact here. Mercury is trining Jupiter, which again is super positive. I think we talked about this last time. It's very positive. This is All Saints Day, which is fine, but it's still pagan. Mercury is trining Jupiter. So, optimistic attitudes in general. We're still talking about Mercury in Libra in Scorpio season. So it's generally positive, optimistic. It could just also be blowing things out of proportion as well. So just something to keep in mind, because on the following day, Mercury, see how this is 23 degrees Mercury and Libra and 24 degrees of Capricorn Pluto. So the next day they're going to square each other. Yay. So this is like, again, I just feel that it's like opening up our minds, like diving into the subconscious, diving into the shadow self, into the id, as they would say in psychology, diving into our darkness. Pluto is darkness, but Pluto is mostly shadow too. So it's kind of like that ugly stuff that we don't want to face. And it's going to be within our own mind. It's going to be in our communication possibly too, which is not so pleasant. but we're all kind of triggering each other so that we can go deeper and heal the things that we need to heal. But the way that that manifests is like very Plutonian. It's very Scorpio. It's scary. It's if you know any Scorpio people or Scorpio placement people, like when they get mad, it's like that waterfall of energy, and it's like super powerful, super intense and strong. So that could be where our minds are at, where our communication is at. We might be feeling vengeful and jealous and vindictive. That's kind of like Pluto is dark. Like there is positive of Pluto, of course. It's the renewer, it's death and rebirth, but like in general, Pluto is just intense. Pluto is shadowy and dark. And look, we have another septile triangle here, again with Venus. There's really something happening with our partnerships. There's something happening that is being channeled through the way that we love. I almost wonder, because it is connecting to the North Node and Chiron still. So it's like, I feel actually healing with this. Heart chakra healing, heart-centered healing as far as our ability to give and receive love goes. But because of the Scorpio energy too, we're really going to be triggered. We're going to be faced with like, why do you feel like you don't deserve stable, consistent, foundational love? Or why don't you let anyone in? Or like, why don't you take like compliments in? Like that kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff where healing can happen. But with Chiron, of course, it's going to be felt as pain first. And with Chiron and Aries, it's like, we're going to be really triggered first, and then we'll have that healing take place. So on Thursday, we have the new moon in Scorpio. Yay! Awesome. So this is a great new moon. It's actually going to, let's move forward to the exact hour here. So it will be at 1:55 a.m. That's in Eastern time. So is that the right time? Oh no, that is not the right time. I'm so sorry. It will be at 2:15 p.m. PT, Pacific time. Okay, so let's go forward minute by minute. There's some really exciting alignments actually too that I'm going to talk about in my live, which will be on Wednesday, probably at 6 p.m. Central time. I'm sorry if that's like an inconvenient time. I know I've said this before too, but I just don't like do well with like doing the videos super late, but I know like everyone has kids and stuff, so it might be hard, but you can watch it anytime, of course. So the new moon in Scorpio, there's so many quintiles too. The quintiles are the yellow lines, which is the 5-pointed star, which is the energy of Venus. So it's magic, it's beauty, it's love, it's creating something from nothing, creativity. Of course, Leo and the sun is creativity as well, but Venus creativity, it's just different. It's like coming from a mindset of beauty and harmony, while Leo's creativity is more like, how do I express my individual self, my individual soul? So this new moon is directly, like, look how close that is, opposing Uranus. So wow, lightning storm. It's going to get stormy for sure. I'm just seeing like a black cloud, like thing, like misty thing with like lightning going on. It's going to be really shocking. But I do think because of these healing things that we are seeing leading up to it, hopefully we'll have these like revelations and like these like openings, like awakening moments that will lead us to deeper, more heart-centered healing. But like we're talking about Uranus here and Scorpio, and neither of those really want to budge from like what they're doing because they're fixed signs, right? Like Taurus, the stubborn bull, Scorpio is just as stubborn, like honestly. So they're really stuck in whatever energy they're trying to emit. They're trying to, I see the planets as like keys that trigger certain experiences and trigger certain ascension experiences or whatever. They act as like the triggers, so whatever they're trying to do, Taurus and Scorpio, they're fixated in that. So and this is an opposition too between two very strong points, and Scorpio, the sun, moon, and Mars in Scorpio, and Uranus and Taurus. So what I'm getting at is, especially with oppositions, there's always that push-pull tightrope energy between opposing opposites. There's the cutest little bird outside right now. Oh. There's always like that tightrope feeling of tension, and then we'll pick our favorite side and we'll like project the other side or attract the extreme of the other side into our lives. With these two very, very strong signs, these strong points, we really need to harmonize those opposites. We really need to accept chaos right now, because Uranus is unexpected changes, shock treatment, shock factor, revelations, aha moments, spiritual openings, while Scorpio is literally like being at war with yourself and creating chaos so that you can have this death and rebirth experience. So it's a really intense moon. We'll have, leading up to like the actual full moon, we'll have the moon in Scorpio quincunx Chiron. So again, bringing in that healing stuff. We won't really know how to heal it though, I think, until we get to the actual new moon alignment. And it'll kind of happen in that order too. And it might be very sudden, it might just happen, or we will realize things that are uncomfortable that ultimately can lead us to a place of deeper healing. And of course, the moon is going to conjunct Mars, and then it's going to square Saturn too before it actually quincunxes Chiron. So this is it's a tough new moon, but because these are such strong points, again, I do feel that it's going to be solid. Whatever we experience, it's going to really shift, like Taurus in the foundation, Scorpio in the underworld, in our subconscious, in our shadow, in our darkness. And then we have Aquarius in here too with Saturn. So it's going to materialize into reality very, very quickly. And it's going to go, I just feel like it's going to go so deep, like into like the roots of who we are, what really makes us us. It's going to go that deep, maybe even beyond reality. It's going to go really, really deep. So super excited about this new moon, honestly. I'm not like feeling like doom and gloom about it or anything like that. I feel like I'm at that point where whatever happens, happens, and let's do it. Okay. So on the 5th, we have Venus moving into Capricorn, as you can see here. And we also have Mercury entering Scorpio, excuse me. Mercury. So if we move this forward, Mercury will enter Scorpio. All right. So Mercury entering Scorpio, we are diving deep into the depths of our own minds, our own souls, really. Venus enters Capricorn. This is an interesting placement. I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing. It's interesting because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and in mythology, Venus was really the only one that could deal with Saturn. So we're talking about Aphrodite and Kronos. Kronos and Saturn, not really a fun dude to hang out with. Just very, what does Saturn feel like? Saturn is very cold, very meticulous, very calculated. That's Capricorn. Very somber and sobering, like the buzzkill kind of energy sometimes. The person that sucks the fun out of the party, that can be Saturn. Saturn is like, this is harsh reality. Look at it, look at it. Saturn can be kind of scary for sure. Saturn wants us to face the reality no matter how ugly it is. And I always feel like Saturn as like an archetype, as a actual planet, because I do feel that the planets have like a consciousness personally. Saturn doesn't care how you feel about it at all. Like there's no like sympathy. Like the only thing that Saturn cares about is like knowing how far he can really push you, so that you don't just like completely give up. Well, you might still, and he'll just like, okay, like I'm not going to help you get back up, basically. It's like, it goes so much like beyond just like the father archetype. Like he's very harsh. Like I feel like he's almost like made of like bricks and like of physical reality itself. And that doesn't really have emotion, at least not what Saturn rules. There's no like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, there's just not that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Saturn is just very, very harsh. So Venus, the relationship planet of love and beauty and connection and desire, being in Capricorn, will feel very dedicated. I know people with this placement personally, and they're lovely people. They're very, very loyal. They're very dedicated. They're always trying to help you level up. So it's actually like a nice energy, I would say. But at the same time, we're all going to be in that Saturnian place of like, yeah, let's level up, but I'm not going to feel super sympathetic towards you right now, probably. And that's the thing with Scorpio too. Scorpio doesn't care about your sensitivity. They're super sensitive, but they don't care about your sensitivity. Like, they're just going to hit you with that truth so hard. But it's more of like a Martian Plutonian way, in a way that like destroys you. Well, Capricorn's truth bringing would be more like here is like the absolute truth that you just don't want to look at ever, but like, just here it is. You have to look at it. You have to face it. While Scorpio is like, I'm going to destroy you with the truth. Oh man. So, so Venus being in Capricorn, we're feeling a bit critical and methodical and calculated, and we'll more so be looking at our relationships of like, how can this benefit me in my personal status and me leveling up in society, more so than, oh, let me coddle you emotionally. That's for the opposite sign, Cancer. Cancer will emotionally coddle you all day, but Capricorn is like, can we not? Like, I'll just tell you how to solve your problems, kind of like Virgo and Taurus too, but like, I'm not going to sit here and like coddle you, you know? So it's not a bad placement or anything like that, but we're just coming from like that more harsh, like colder state of mind when it comes to our partnerships. And the following day on Saturday, we'll have Mercury in Scorpio sextiling Venus in Capricorn. So it's all supporting each other for sure. Just be aware that we're going to be a little bit hard on each other. Not like Virgo season. Oh my gosh. Like, when Virgo was nearing the end of its season, and all the planets were like at the end degrees that were in Virgo, like, everyone was being so mean to each other. I was like, oh my gosh, like, even just on social media, like, people were just tearing each other to shreds. I'm like, that's where I was really seeing like, yeah, Virgo is Scorpio. Like, they really are the same sign. I was just reading, what book was this in? It was in Stephen Forrest's Pluto book. And he was saying how, oh, no. It was in Demetra George's Asteroid Goddess book. And she was talking about how Virgo and Scorpio initially were one sign, and eventually they were split into two. And then Libra was inserted in between them, because basically it represents like the unnecessary and unhealthy split that happened with femininity. And then Libra was just kind of like placed there to be the balancing point between those two things. And really what we want to try to do, and this is what Vesta deals with a lot too, is creating like not separation, and like more so bringing them back into harmony, into balance as one. And that's kind of like what Libra is supposed to do, because that split shouldn't be there. You know, there shouldn't be the virgin Virgo, which is really supposed to be a woman unto herself, not married, independent, versus Scorpio, which is consummation and becoming one with a person on every level. Those should be one thing. You know, the whole Madonna and whore archetypal thing, it's not supposed to be that way, but that's just what happened with the patriarchy over time. So anyways, when we were at the end of Virgo season, I was like really seeing that Scorpio, because that's more of like the, how do I explain? I mean, this is like an air sign, or not an air sign. It's almost an air sign, but it's an earth sign. But I was really seeing like, I do feel that Virgo has a stinger too. You might not see it all the time, you know, because if you look at the symbol, how Virgo has the arrow pointing inward, it's almost like that stinger is hidden, but it's there. I mean, have you ever been verbally ripped apart by a Virgo? Like, that's something you will never forget. Ever. And Scorpios are like that too, but do you see what I'm saying? They're not supposed to be different. So we're kind of like getting that sort of energy too, I think, especially with Capricorn being involved here. But it's a bit different too. Okay, so I don't know where I'm going with this. I hope you have a wonderful Samhain, and I love you all, and I will see you soon. I will post the live information in the Discord and on the Patreon. Again, it will be on Wednesday. Yay! Okay, I love you guys. Bye.